Hello and welcome to the No One Asked You podcast. This series, I am once again joined by my wonderful co-host, that darn kitty.
Dorkus and I are sharing our experience reading The Way of Kings for the first time. Each episode, we will summarize what we've read and discuss the experience along the way.
This is Storming the Archives, The Way of Kings, and today we discuss Chapter 68.
Chapter 68!
Chapter 68, Eshonai. Adolin leads his men, fighting their way toward the chasm. They've taken severe losses. The Parshendi fight to kill, but the Kholin forces fight for survival. Teft watches Kaladin fight in awe. Stormlight does not grant skill, merely enhances it, perfects it. The rest of the crew wonders what he is. Even Sigzil does not know anything of this. Teft reminds the men that he's their bridge leader and he needs help. Teft proceeds to issue orders to the crew. Dalinar fights. He feels they are all doomed, including the bridgemen. The sacrifice of those bridgemen changed the journey, though. This would not be a meaningless death. The army finally cuts through. To Dalinar's surprise, the bridgemen did not die. They're fighting. Glorious! He orders his men to support them. The enemy troops part, revealing a 7-foot-tall Parshendi warrior in shardplate wielding a shard blade. Dalinar demands to know why now, and not earlier. He suspects it was done with the hope that one of the fellow soldiers might win plate and blade for themselves. The two fight. The Parshendi warrior fights with an unfamiliar but practiced stance. Dalinar is at a disadvantage and so must find better ground and take risks. He slices through rock, sending the Parshendi warrior tumbling. The blow damages the Parshendi warrior, but not by enough. Kaladin feels awake and alive. He fights. The bridge crew holds. Syl is enraptured. Kaladin is impressed by the Parshendi. They seek out worthy foes, not the wounded. They are not the savages he'd been led to believe they were. Kaladin respects them. Adolin breaks through the ranks. The Parshendi have learned not to send soldiers wearing glowing gems to fight Kaladin. Kaladin calls for a report. Malip, Jax, and Narm have died. 5 more of the bridge crew are wounded, but cared for. Teft remains in command. Moash follows Kaladin. Kaladin searches for a commander or an officer. Most immediate officers are dead. Unable to find one, he promotes a man younger than he is. The man wonders if he can do that, but Kaladin insists someone must. He then orders the man to get everyone across the bridge. Kaladin finally finds someone in command, a man of the Cobalt Guard. They won't cross the bridge without Adolin. They don't know where Dalinar is. Kaladin makes his way to Adolin. He insists Adolin order the retreat, but Adolin will not do so without his father. Kaladin promises to get Dalinar. Adolin orders some of his men to go with Kaladin. Moash goes with Adolin. Dalinar has taken a severe blow to the head. He thinks he hears the Parshendi warrior comment, "It is you. I have found you at last." Someone fights his way toward them. He thinks it's Sadeas. Once in view, Dalinar sees it is not Sadeas, but a glowing spearman. Kaladin attacks the Parshendi shardbearer. The Parshendi army starts speaking, Neshua Kadal, as they had before. Kaladin helps Dalinar. Dalinar thinks he only imagined the speaking Parshendi and that the spearmen glowed. Kaladin has not killed the shardbearer. Dalinar wants to so he can fulfill his promise to Renarin. Kaladin orders him onto his horse and demands they flee to safety. Dalinar orders a retreat. The Parshendi army does not chase them. Dalinar and the Parshendi shardbearers salute each other. Everyone gets across the bridge. Dalinar orders a triage be set up so they can care for the wounded. He thinks Kaladin is both skilled and lucky. He walks over to Bridge 4. He's surprised that Kaladin is also a practiced field medic. After being asked, Kaladin informs Dalinar that Sadeas had not sent them back to rescue him. They did so of their own volition. The answer makes sense to Dalinar. He asks what they plan to do now. Kaladin does not know. Dalinar offers to take them back to his camp, make Sadeas free them. Kaladin does not think it wise. There will be war between Dalinar and Sadeas. Dalinar feels a deep, seething hatred for Sadeas, but he isn't sure all-out war is wise, pragmatic, or winnable. Sadeas did what he did, as he did it, for a reason. All-out war is unlikely. If it won't be war, Kaladin claims Dalinar would be committing robbery, and since he has such an honorable reputation, he must in fact return the bridge crew to Sadeas. Dalinar promises to take care of Sadeas, then vows to keep them safe with every shred of honor he has. Kaladin agrees. There are men back at camp he cannot leave, and they don't have the supplies to run. Dalinar cannot let this go. The balance has changed. Nothing will be the same again. We finally got the meeting!
Yes! Ah, glorious, glorious meeting.
Indeed. But before that, they named it the Final Desolation, but they lied. Our gods lied! Oh, how they lied! The Everstorm comes. I hear its whispers, see its storm wall, know its heart. Tanatanes, 1173, 8 seconds pre-death, an Azish itinerant worker, sample of particular note.
Yeah, I guess it's pretty noteworthy that it's like there's lies from the gods. And yeah, I suppose Everstorm, this got me thinking of the word Everstorm, where I'm like, yeah, Ever is eternal. It continues over and over and over again. So
Yeah.
yeah, you never, the desolations actually don't ever end.
Yeah. And we are presuming that there was at least one desolation, right, between
Mhm.
the heralds lying or giving up or abandoning their oath and between this one that we are expecting to come, right?
Yeah, I think at least one.
Yeah. So what's up with this one here and now being that? I mean, I feel like if there was a desolation between then and now, they might not, like the Alethi and so on, might not be worshipping the heralds anymore because clearly they lied. But hmm. So maybe that isn't the case, that there was one in between. But then what was the whole situation with the Knights Radiant abandoning their oath? Because
Yeah,
I presumed that that happened at the time of a desolation, after the
yeah.
heralds abandoned. Huh.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if you could say they clearly lied. Maybe they don't know. A lot of knowledge is lost. A lot of time has passed. So we don't know that there has been lies or that sort of thing. We don't know that.
Fair.
They haven't figured that out yet.
Yeah. So Adolin and Dalinar are cutting their way through the Parshendi army, and they're doing so quite effectively and creating a pathway for the rest of the soldiers to come.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they have decent ground for it as well. Dalinar's force had lost another 1,000 of his 4, probably more. So this is a slaughter.
Yeah, it's really bad. But it's they're trying to survive at all. You know, I think I agree with Dalinar where he's like, it was a valiant effort. It was great. He's not really actually expecting to survive this, but surprise, surprise.
Indeed. And we get the great line, the Parshendi fought to kill, but the Alethi this time fought to live.
Mm,
That does make a difference.
yeah.
And then we get a POV shift back to Teft.
Mm.
Teft is such a stealth character. I'm always surprised when we get his POVs, and yet I'm always fine with it. Always happy with it.
Yeah. And he gets them all moving
Yeah.
and supporting Kaladin. It's like, okay, cool. This is very interesting, but we also need to help him.
Yeah. But he's watching Kaladin do the fighting, and he's like, doing this doesn't grant ability, it perfects it. So,
Mm-hmm.
my god, Kaladin is one talented guy.
Yeah, I like the line about what is he, and then Tiff just says he's our bridge leader. It's like, yeah, it doesn't matter what he is. He's like what he is. We know who he is to us. So
Yeah.
there's no time to be like, oh no, he's different. It's just like, nah, he's our bridge leader, and that's it.
Yeah. And that comes about because the others are wondering what he is. They don't even think he's human anymore. Like,
Yeah.
they think he's a spren. Even Sigzil hasn't heard of this kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he's doing some superhuman things.
Yeah, very clearly superhuman.
Back to Dalinar. So we're leaping all over the place, which helps lend a certain rushed feeling to the chapter. Rushed in a good way. This is a fight scene. It's very action oriented. It is keeping up a fast pace.
Yeah.
And we get Dalinar's expectation that the Bridgemen have almost certainly died, but their sacrifice changes the journey. It changes the story. Now their journey is one of fighting for freedom rather than of betrayal. And I thought that was a really excellent sentiment.
Yeah, he's like, this is a good way to die. It's really not kind of still at peace.
Yeah. They get into sight of the bridge, and to Dalinar's amazement, the Bridgemen are alive and fighting, and they're doing pretty well. It is the most glorious thing Dalinar had
Mhm.
ever seen.
Which is quite a compliment.
Yep.
The Blackthorn is saying that this is glorious. Like he's seen a lot of glory, guys, but he's like, no, this is pretty amazing.
Yep. Dalinar orders the men to go give the bridge crew support, which is excellent. And Gallant is there now, and he'll obviously play an important point later, but Gallant wasn't even supposed to be there in the first place.
Yeah, both of them were actually carrying. They could carry 3 wounded each. So Gallant and Sureblood, because Adolin has a Rashadian as well. So yeah, Gallant and Sureblood are both carrying wounded, and they're supposed to stay out of reach now because they've got wounded on their backs.
Yeah. And Dalinar is struggling. He's wounded. He's got sweat in his eye. And we get a boss fight.
Yeah, because guess who shows up?
7-foot tall Parshendi man in silver
Mm-hmm.
shard plate and
Mm-hmm.
shard blade.
Yeah. So he's and it's fresh. Okay, there's no cracks, nothing. He hasn't been in a fight for the past few hours. He's fresh, boy.
Yeah. Dalinar is incredulous. He's like, why are you coming now instead of sooner? And he thinks it's because they wanted to give the Parshendi an opportunity to win a shard blade and plate. But it's like a lot of them died because you didn't come in sooner, Mr. Parshendi man.
Mm,
So perhaps they are not quite as honorable as Kaladin and Dalinar seem to think for some strange
yeah,
reason, despite not knowing anything
maybe.
about them.
Yeah, and I mean maybe Parshendi with shard plates are even more tyrannical than light eyes
Yeah,
with shard plate, or equally at least equally.
yeah. But anyway, they had the shard bearer in the back pocket, presumably to prevent an escape of
Mm-hmm.
Dalinar and Adolin, the shard bearers. Then we get the boss fight, and it's really excellent because he's winded and Parshendi Man is not. And so Dalinar has to do some aggressive maneuvers. He thinks to himself he has to do some risk taking. One of my favorite things that he does during this fight is he kites Parshendi Man up to like a cliff like area, and then he uses his blade instead of against the Parshendi Man, he does it against the cliff itself and causes Parshendi Man to tumble and then get like
Mm-hmm.
avalanched.
Yeah, he gets more rock on top of him even. So he gets that, and he does get like a bit of a crack in the armor because of that in the
Yeah.
shard plates. So he really does well. Like he gets hit once and he's done. Like in this situation, so he really did some great thinking. And he's been fighting for a really long time at this point. So yeah, he's got skills too.
Yeah. It's it really is a really cool fight scene.
Mm.
And like Dalinar at various points does get a few hits and like has to abandon parts of his armor, which
Yeah, his
I
what is it? Gauntlet. Mm.
yeah, so I wonder how that's going to fit in with his shard plate in the future or not.
Yeah. But he then is like at one stage he's holding his blade, which is 6 foot. He's holding his blade with the gauntlets at hand and then like a normal hand, which is just what? Like the balance would be so off and everything, and he's just still like still standing to fight, trying to get to fight. It's amazing. And we do get like you're like, please hurry up, Kaladin, please get to him. He really cannot stand much longer.
Yeah. So then a ring of Parshendi surround Dalinar and Parshendi Man. And we switch over to Kaladin.
Hmm.
And Kaladin is reveling in his awesome powers. He even thinks like he didn't break his attacks. In a way, there was only one attack. Each strike flowed directly into the next. So that's pretty cool. He reflects on the oxymoron of protecting and saving, but also killing, and wonders how something so terrible could also be so beautiful.
The At this point when I was at reading this, it made me think of the way Vikings seem, or the Norse sort of mythology seems to view fighting as beautiful and all of that. And I'm sure we made the connection before of the crystalline halls, and fighting to reclaim them in the afterlife and all of that stuff. That is like Valhalla. So yeah, just those connections came to mind again. That this fighting being beautiful and being, I don't know, like reverent, I don't know, godlike. Yeah, it's very Viking, and I was just thinking of that with the way Kaladin is just being like, wow, it's so beautiful.
Yeah. Indeed. We also do know, like we've in this book, we've got the Tranquiline Halls, which sound
Hmm.
Valhalla-y, but
Hmm.
a dark take on it.
Hmm. Well, yeah, Valhalla does still need to be reclaimed, or you go into an eternal battle where you gain even more glory. So
Hmm.
you have to go to Valhalla. So it's like it's not paradise in that it's chilled. It's paradise in that you're fighting forever, which is interesting. You have to view fighting as beautiful then.
Hmm. Sovngarde awaits.
Mm.
The bridge is holding, the bridge crew are holding. We've got Lopen tossing Kaladin spears every time a spear breaks. And
We got Syl twirling and being
yep,
really excited.
yep. And throughout all of this, Kaladin builds in his mind some sort of strange respect for the Parshendi, which echoes Dalinar's strange respect for the Parshendi. He sees in them,
Hmm.
and they're fighting in pairs, and they're targeting only worthy opponents. And Kaladin basically thinks this is what I thought the Alethi armies were doing here on the Shattered Plains.
Mm. Yeah,
So,
this is the kind that he found what he hoped he would find in the soldiers of the Shattered Plains, which is like worthy opponents. Well,
mhm.
yeah, these are quite worthy and honorable.
Yeah, I really am expecting at some point in the story a plot expansiony type thing where we get the Parshendi perspective and we're going to be like, oh my god, that's so reasonable. Look how bad the Alethi
Mm.
are. And we already know that there are a lot of really bad Alethi out there. Don't get me wrong. So he's not sure how long he's been fighting, but it feels like ages. Eventually, the Parshendi sort of kind of realize, oh, he's taking in our stormlight, so we should stop sending folks with
Hmm.
shards in our beards to fight him.
Hmm.
And as the army have arrived, Kaladin decides to limit his intake so as to not glow in front of them.
Yeah, pretty clever. And also, he needs to not be. He needs to measure out when he stops using Stormlight because he's going to collapse the moment he runs out of it.
Yeah, very much so. There's a break in the fighting, and Kaladin gets a report. We've lost Malop, Earless Jax, and Narm.
Mm.
The only name I really recognized there is Earless Jax.
Yeah,
Very
same.
sad, but didn't really know him that well, so
Mm.
I was like, okay.
But Kaladin is able to go past it and be like, "Okay, be glad the rest live." Like, he can't get stuck in that sorrow.
Yes, he CBTs his way toward
Mhm,
accepting it and moving forward, which is very good for
mhm,
Kaladin.
mhm,
That is a big sign of growth on his part for the time being. He can feel bad after the
mhm.
battle.
Yeah.
He tells the men to pull back across the bridge. He gives Teft command and has Moash follow him into the Alethi army. They go in search of a commander, and
Mhm,
they have a hell of a hard time finding a commander because everyone's pretty much dead.
mhm. Yeah, and someone gets promoted by Kaladin.
I thought this was a very funny exchange, a very
Mm,
enjoyable exchange.
yeah.
He's looking around for an officer, and someone calls, I found Bright Lord Havar. He's commander of the rear guard. Who's his second? Dead, said the man. And you are? Nacom Gavel. He looked young, younger than Kaladin. You're promoted, Kaladin said. Get these men across the bridge as quickly as possible. If anyone asks, you've been given a field commission as commander of the rear guard. If anyone claims to outrank you, send them to me. The man started. Promoted? Who are you? Can you do that? And the humor of the fact that he's a bridgeman giving this guy command,
Yeah.
and a man younger than him, no less. Kaladin snaps, Someone needs to. Go get to work. I go, Kaladin bellowed. So he
And
takes
it's a light
command.
eyes. This is
Y-
a light eyes that he's commanding as well.
yes, that stuck out to me
Mhm,
as well. So
mhm,
good. Really
mhm.
enjoyable exchange.
But they it works because they have no direction. So,
Yeah.
like, as soon as it's easy because somebody comes with direction and there's nothing better to do than to listen. So it actually works.
Yep. Kaladin eventually makes it to the leader of the Cobalt Guard, and he basically says, We're not leaving Adolin. It is our job to protect him. We're not going.
Mm,
And and despite Kaladin telling him, You have to pull back, they refuse to. So that's very admirable, I think, of the Cobalt Guard. It puts Kaladin in a little bit of a bind, considering there doesn't seem to be any other serious leadership at that moment getting the army across. So
mm,
he goes to find Adolin, and he's watching Adolin fight, and he's keeping a respectful distance from Adolin because of the nature of Shard Blade fighting.
mhm.
But eventually Kaladin calls for him, and we get our Kaladin Adolin interaction. It's not quite the one we're waiting for yet. We're waiting for Kaladin Dalinar, but this is still just every bit as good. We get Kaladin ordering Adolin across.
Yes, yeah, we have him ordering the freaking Bright Lord, the High Prince's son. We have him do that, and he's like, "I'm the," because also when Adeline asks who he is, he's like, "I'm the man who saved your life," which is so true. Which is like, yeah, it makes sense that all of them actually land up listening to him because he is the guy that saved their life,
Yeah,
and yeah, they have respect for him because of that.
yeah. And Adolin is refusing to leave because he will not abandon his father. Stupid but admirable in that moment. Very
And it
Cody.
also this Yeah, very Cody, but this also should show Kaladin in the back of his mind that these men will not leave. Even if their leaders are being stupid, these men are staying there
Yeah,
with them. So yeah, and it is kind of quite humorous because it's like, well, my men won't leave. Oh, that's later on. Never mind. But also we get the fact that Gallant ran back for Dalinar. These
yes.
horses are freaking amazing.
Very much so.
Hmm.
So Kaladin promises to go look for Dalinar if Adolin takes responsibility for the rest of the army and gets them across the bridge. And Adolin agrees, but he sends Captain Lord Malin and some of his soldiers to go help rescue Dalinar.
Mhm. I
Good
think that's a
plan.
good compromise. Yeah.
Yes. And Kaladin sends Moash with Adolin, which I think is smart and wise. Let those two
Mm.
get to know each other.
Yeah. Also, he doesn't want Moash to get hurt anyway, all
Yeah,
the way.
that too. And Kaladin goes off and finds Dalinar. And then we get another POV shift back to Dalinar. Gallant is on his way to try and help him.
Mm-hmm.
Dalinar gets hit in the head. It's pretty debilitating. It pretty much looks like he's gonna lose the fight. Then we get a big plotty thing. The Parshendi Shardbearer says, "In Alethi, it
Mm-hmm.
is you. I have found you at last." And so many questions pop up from that. First off, Dalinar, who does a couple of things in this chapter I really dislike. One of those things here is presuming he misheard this. Like he kind of sends it
Yeah,
away.
but he has just hit his head. He doesn't even know where he is. Like he said, "Oh, I'm wearing my shard plate." Like he's really out of it. So
Yeah.
yeah, it makes sense that he's going to do this. And he has already dismissed that he sees Kaladin glowing
Yeah. Well,
when
that's
he
the other
left the
thing
jail.
that really, really
Hmm.
aggravates me, but we'll get to that
Yeah.
one. For the time being, though, what does it mean that the Parshendi Shardbearer has been looking for Dalinar? And there are a couple of different things that pop up in my mind. And the first being was, were they even trying to kill Gavilar? What if they were trying to kill Dalinar instead? And like there was some big misunderstanding and Dalinar was the intended target because of Dalinar destiny or something like that. The
I
other
don't think so. I think it's because Gavilar was killed and now he's the special one. So it's like now they're looking for him.
Right. Which then leads to my next supposition, which is maybe they're just targeting people who are getting these visions.
Hmm.
Again, it seems like the Parshendi are trying to keep the Alethi as divided as possible.
Hmm.
So I very much do believe that the Parshendi are hiding their power level, and I think they're just trying to keep everyone divided until the Everstorm hits for the time being.
Yeah. But I still. So do you think this Parshendi guy, is taking his time with Dalinar? Like, because he is pausing. He really is to talk to him, and he could have easily killed him right then. Like,
It
what is this?
Yeah, I
Hmm.
really do get evil vibes from the Parshendi Shardbearer. Or
Mm.
if not evil vibes, certainly gruff vibes, if
Yeah,
that makes
I
sense.
don't. Yeah, I don't feel like it's like, oh, now it's you. We're not going to fight. It's more like I'm just pausing to gloat a little
Yeah.
because it's you. You know.
Yeah, and I really, really do wish that at this point Dalinar had been of sound enough mind to be like, why did you do it? Why did you kill Gavilar? I would have loved
Mm.
some answers.
Yeah, we're not ready for those though.
Yep. Dalinar realizes someone is fighting his way toward them, and he thinks it's Sadius. It's like, oh, sweetie baby honey child.
Exactly. And he's just so he's so out of it that's just ridiculous. But he's like, yeah,
Yep,
it's Sadius. The way I saved Sadius, he's gonna save me. Okay, sure.
yep. But then he sees that it's Kaladin, and he sees that Kaladin is glowing.
Mm-hmm.
And so, look, it it bothers me that Dalinar is going to write that off as I must have been seeing things. And I can only imagine that others will talk about having seen him glow too. And maybe
Mm-hmm.
we could go in a direction where they have to confront it. But I don't
Mm.
think that will be the case. I think they're going to kind of dance around it. And I'm not looking forward to that. I am very much looking forward to Kaladin bumping heads with Dalinar quite a lot, but I do not look forward to Kaladin's trying to keep it secret and Dalinar's pretending it didn't happen in the first place.
Mm.
So they're both going to be like looking for the same things but refusing to talk to each other, kind of a thing. I would rather all cards just be on the table right now.
Yeah. You're tired of the secrets.
Yeah. But then at that point, we switch to a Kaladin POV. I was kind of hoping that Kaladin would try to suck in Shard Plate Stormlight.
Yes, I wanted to see if we could do that.
Yeah. The fight is quick enough, and Kaladin significantly wounds the Shard Bearer, Parshendi Man,
Mhm.
but does not, in fact, kill him. Everyone around notes that he is Neshua Kadal,
Mhm.
and they start to chant a new song, and the Parshendi are shying away from him. So for whatever reason, they're afraid of Surge Binders. And it did note to me, and we didn't mention it in the last episode, but clearly the Parshendi do know what Surge Binders are, because they knew well
Yeah.
enough to be able to hire Zeth in the first place.
Yeah.
So there's something there worth thinking deeper on, I think.
Mhm.
Then we switch back to Dalinar POV, and he wants the Shard Plate because he wants to fulfill his promise to Renarin, and I can sort of kind of get that. And I was thinking, oh man, this is going to get off to a really bad start between Kaladin and Dalinar if Dalinar is insisting on getting the plate, because that'll tell Kaladin that Dalinar is as selfish as the rest of the Light Eyes are, because he's willing to
Mhm.
sacrifice his army for the plate.
Yeah.
But that isn't what happens.
Yeah. And I mean basically the first Kaladin gives zero craps. Like the way he speaks, we've had him say to Adolin, "You will retreat," okay.
Yep.
And we have him say, "On your horse, Light Eyes." He
Yep.
has no. He's really enjoying this. Not having to respect the Light Eyes. Yeah.
Very much so. And we even get, "You're supposed to be an honorable one," the spearman snarled.
Mm.
Dalinar had rarely been spoken to in such a way, particularly by a dark-eyed man. "Well, your men won't leave without you, and my men won't leave without them, so you will get on your horse, and we will escape this death trap. Do you understand?" Very
I
great
really enjoyed that.
interaction.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's just like, well, my man's not leaving. No man won't leave. Just could just get on the horse, okay? Because everybody needs to survive. Like we're the reason that they're all waiting and trying. So just get out of here.
Yeah. Yeah, and Dalinar sees sense, and they do get out.
Hmm.
And on his way out, Dalinar and Parshendi Man salute each other.
Hmm.
So,
And that also because it's really possible they could have chased them all the way back to the permanent bridges and everything. That they really could have pursued them, but it's like again that prediction that was like, no, the Parshendi are going to do something weird. Well, there you go. Like they stop,
yeah,
essentially. They
why?
could have. I don't understand. Is it an honor thing? They're defeated enough. It's because it's Dalinar. I don't understand. And yeah, okay, they do go and focus on the gem hearts after that, but still, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, agreed. But they get across, the Parshendi stop chasing, they set up a triage to take care of the wounded, and eventually Dalinar makes his way over to the bridge crew. And he is surprised that Kaladin is practiced in field medicine.
But I like his reasoning there. He's surprised, but then he's like, "Oh well, I mean, the guy can fight. This is
Everything's we
weird anyway."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sadeas had been holding out on him. It's
which is
like,
like, no,
none
no,
of
no,
this is because of Sadeas.
yeah.
And then we finally get the great interactions. And look, I say the great interactions. I really wish that Kaladin had laid into Dalinar at this point. I really I like more or less where the conversation goes and everything, but I wanted something like, "I don't trust you, but I don't have any other choice. But I do not trust you.
Well,
I do not believe you're as honorable as my men say you are."
I don't need that said out loud because also the fact that he explains at the end that he has no supplies and all of that. That's why he's choosing it. I think that sends the message: I don't trust you and your honor, because he says, "All right, we'll return. I can't leave my men back at camp, and with so many men now wounded, we don't have the proper supplies to run." So that exactly is saying, I don't have a choice, actually. So that's why I'm doing it, not because of your freaking honor.
Fair. But let's go through it. It's like a page and a half, 2 pages.
Hmm.
The youth stood, posture hostile, folding his arms. You are to be commended, Dalinar said. All of you. Why did your high prince retreat only to send you back for us? Several of the bridgemen chuckled. Yeah, of course. He didn't send us back, their leader said. We came on our own, against his wishes. Dalinar found himself nodding, and he realized that this was the only answer that made sense. Yeah. So that's said, and I'm glad that was said.
Hmm.
Why? Dalinar asked. Why come for us? The youth shrugged. You allowed yourself to get trapped in there quite spectacularly. That's a good
You see,
answer.
that's yeah. You
Evasive.
want It's evasive, yes. So you want him to say because it was the right thing to do, because that's why he
Yes.
did it. But he is holding back because he doesn't like Dalinar and he doesn't trust Dalinar. So he will just say, he is taking jabs at him like, "Oh, well, you just needed it. Look at you," instead of it was the right thing to do. So you can see this is him laying into Dalinar in a way.
Yeah, there is almost an element of I'm better than you. I had to come rescue
Hmm.
you type
Yeah,
thing there.
but it's not the truth.
Yeah,
It's actually because it was the right thing.
yeah. Dalinar nodded tiredly. Perhaps he should have been annoyed at the young man's tone, but it was only the truth. Yes, but why did you come? And how did you learn to fight so well? By accident, the young man said. He turned back to his wounded. What can I do to repay you? Dalinar asked. And at that point, again, I know that he's going to offer the bridge crew sanctuary.
Yeah.
We know more or less where this is going to go from here. And there was a bit of me that was wondering if this was going to get to pilgrimage in the desert. Like, I seriously wondered if Kaladin was going to say no.
Mm.
But I'm really glad that he didn't.
Yeah. It would be silly to he
He
can't do a
needs to.
pilgrimage in the desert right now. No.
Yeah. The bridgemen looked back at him. I don't know. We were going to flee from Sadius, disappear in the confusion. We might still, but he'll certainly hunt us down and kill us. I could take your men to my camp, make Sadius free you from your bondage. I worry that he wouldn't let us go, the bridgeman said, eyes haunted. And I worry that your camp would offer no safety at all. This move today by Sadius, it'll mean war between you two, will it not? And you and I had this discussion last
Mhm.
week about our expectations. Dalinar probably no longer has the numbers for all-out war with Sadius. It will probably be a political battle.
Mhm. Yeah, and it doesn't it because of the kind of covert way that Sadius was going about it. Yeah, it's not all out war, but it's war in a different way,
Yes.
because Dalinar is not letting this go.
Yeah, and fortunately, Dalinar is level-headed enough to know
Mm.
that it's going to have to be like that.
Mm.
Would it? Dalinar had avoided thinking of Sadius. Survival had taken his focus, but his anger at the man was a seething pit deep within. He would exact revenge on Sadius for this, but could he allow war between the princedoms? It would shatter Alethkar. More than that, it would destroy the Kholin house. Dalinar didn't have the troops or the allies to stand against Sadius, not after this disaster. Again, we covered much of that, but
Mhm.
that hatred, it will be very curious to see um, Dalinar, because up till this point, Dalinar has been so good about putting aside
Mhm.
his own stuff for Alethkar. It'll be very curious to see if I can only assume based off of the past that him trying to play a more political game instead of an outright war game will look as if Dalinar is passively letting Sadius just slap him and then not respond. You know
Mhm.
what I mean?
Yeah. But actually, I feel like the gloves are off. Dalinar hasn't had the will to fight in this manner, the political manner, the
Hmm.
backstabbing manner, because he hasn't had the reason to. but now he will get revenge. And
I
I
hope
feel
so.
like, yeah, I feel like he will lean into like things like Navani and how Navani can come up with ideas and things like that. So I think he has enough support politically to be conniving and
Yeah.
whatever, and he might actually be quite formidable now that he's decided to play this game.
Yeah. I also think that this may be the end of Dalinar's joint plateau assault idea. I can't imagine
Oh yeah.
anyone else wanting to
Mhm. Yeah.
participate.
It's going to be so fascinating to see how they interact afterwards, because it's like you can imagine Dalinar being like how insidious, how scary would it be that Dalinar's like, yeah, I know, you had to retreat, and like
Yeah.
he's smiling there at you, and you like, he knows, I know, we know, everybody knows, but we're all lying. I hope Sadius finds that quite disturbing, because I
Yeah.
would.
Yep. How would Sadius respond when Dalinar returned? Would he try to finish the job attacking? No, Dalinar thought. No, he did it this way for a reason. Sadius had not engaged him personally. He had abandoned Dalinar, but by Alethi standards, that was another thing entirely. He didn't want to risk the kingdom either. So, it's... I'm dying to see how it is different than before. I want to see them get back. Oh, it's going to be so juicy when we
Mm-hmm.
see Dalinar march back into camp. Sadius wouldn't want outright war, and Dalinar couldn't afford outright war, despite his seething anger. He formed a fist, turning to look at the spearmen. It will not turn to war, Dalinar said. Not yet, at least. Well, if that's the case, the spearman said, then by taking us into your camp you commit robbery. The king's law, the codes my men always claim you uphold, would demand that you return us to Sadius. He won't let us go easily. I loved that dig that my men claim you uphold. I wish Dalinar had clocked that.
Mm.
He
But
didn't
yeah,
quite.
Dalinar is letting a lot slip by. He's very
Tired.
focused on other things anyway. He's
Yeah.
very tired, but yeah, he's let a lot of things slide, and I wonder if that endears him a little bit to Kaladin, or Kaladin would probably explain it away and be
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, it was. He's just tired. It's fine." Meantime, no, there's also this. You've brought a lot of understanding with your actions. You've got He respects you,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's getting there. It'll
I
get there slowly.
Yeah, I really do like that Kaladin is setting a tone of
Hmm.
I'm not your servant, I'm not less than you.
Hmm.
I will speak to
Yeah.
you like an equal.
Hmm. Like, I mean, like the first thing he did is cross his arms. Like she's like,
Yeah.
and what do you have to say for yourself? Essentially, is what he looks at Dalinar with, because he can. Why
Yep.
not?
Yep.
I've lost 3 men saving your ass. Like, please, there's nothing you can do to me that could be worse than what we've just gone through anyway. So
Yeah.
it's earned.
Yeah. And it I hope it sets up a unique position for the bridge crew in Dalinar's camp as
Hmm.
like look, they never said like we're defecting from the Alethi kingdom. We are our own people now type of a thing.
Hmm.
But at the same time, it's like we're not swearing allegiance. We were gonna
Yeah.
run. We're refusing to
Yeah,
be slaves anymore.
yeah, I love that he's very daring as well. The fact that he says, "Yeah, we were going to run, and maybe we're going to run as well now."
Yeah.
Like, because it's like, you can't stop us. Essentially, is what he's kind of saying,
Yeah.
or try to stop us. So very, very cocky, as you would expect him to. You don't want him to just suddenly retreat and be respectful and whatever. He's got a
Hmm.
lot of bones to pick with Light Eyes.
Yeah. I will take care of Sadius, Dalinar said. Return with me. I vow that you will be safe. I promise it with every shred of honor I have. And really, it's at that point I wanted Kaladin to be saying, I don't trust you.
Mm.
But we get the young bridgeman met his eyes, searching for something. Such a hard man he was for one so young. All right, the spearman said. We'll return. I can't leave my men back at camp, and with so many men now wounded, we don't have the proper supplies to run. The young man turned back to his work, and Dalinar rode gallant in search of a casualty report. He forced himself to contain his rage at Sadius. It was difficult. No, Dalinar could not let this turn to war, but neither could he let things go back to the way they had been. Sadeas had upset the balance, and it could never be regained, not in the same way. Woo!
Yeah.
So, yeah, look, 68 was recommended as a blind. We don't want to do too many of them, especially because the last one was, and the next several will be blind as well. Comparing 67 to 68, I think we made the right choice. 67 was the better blind option.
Mm. Yeah, and look, it when so many blinds are together, it's difficult. I think it's nice to go from one to the other, as in one format to the other. It's satisfying. Otherwise, we have to wait a week and not read, which is
Yeah,
yeah,
tough.
yeah.
Very excited. I guess we're probably going to see uh, what's the phrase? Denouement. We're going to see things wrap up now.
I've never heard that, but yeah.
I am kind of expecting the Everstorm to hit at the end or something
Mm,
big. One more shoe is going to drop by the end of this.
yeah, maybe we get to something, some sort of sign.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Anything else to say?
Like the video.
If you like, thank you all for tuning in. Have a great rest of your week. Subscribe to that Don Kita if you get a chance, because she's got a great channel.
Subscribe to this channel because you already know it's great.
It would be greatly appreciated. And we'll see you next time. Okay, thanks.
Okay,
Bye.
thanks. Bye.